Hello and welcome. I'm going to build a PC, and my wife thought it would be, I guess, a neat video if I took stuff out of boxes and showed you guys what it was I was going to be building, what parts I was going to be using, and I'll do another video just showing me, probably sped up, just showing me putting it together. But I'm going to take some stuff out of boxes, I guess explain why I got some stuff that I got, and why I'm making a new PC in the first place, since I have one right now. So the main reason I'd be making a new PC is I want to do more stuff with Unreal Engine, which is for game development, and I just want one that will run in a more optimal way while I'm developing and while I'm trying to compile stuff and doing programming things. And also just, this computer is about 8 years old, and I don't buy the newest stuff because that's really expensive. And you can get something really, really strong without spending money for the new parts. So the parts in here are probably at least like 10 years old, but I put it together 8 years ago, and it's time. It still works fine for using games and all that stuff, but when I'm trying to do some development things, I notice things that could just go faster and different hiccups I have. I also don't have a pair of scissors up here. Luckily, someone at work got me some little weapons. So I've been using this to open the boxes up, which I guess the only ones I still have left to open are the monitors. So we'll start with those. And they're Acer's. Acer's pretty good. I've used them before, haven't had any problems. 24-inch monitors. It says it has AMD FreeSync. You don't have to have an AMD processor. They look like a lot of styrofoam so far. HDMI cables. I'll need those because I like HDMI. That's pretty big. That is pretty big. Huh. Anytime that you're doing any kind of multitasking, or any kind of, especially development work or anything, it's nice to have two monitors because you have the one you're working on and then the other one that you're either referencing material on or have just another page going, like you have your editor in one window and your compiler in the other window. Alright, so let's talk about the actual build. So for the biggest part of my build was figuring out, for me, the CPU that I wanted to use. The main core of your build, when you're making something that's going to be like, I guess, an intensive computer, is your CPU, your graphics card, and your motherboard. Your motherboard, because everything's going to connect into that. So everything has to be compatible with your motherboard or your build's not going to work. Your CPU is important because that's just your central processing unit. That's where your main power comes from. And your graphics card, your GPU is important, just because if you're doing stuff like gaming or some kind of development where you're going to be making graphics. It has virtual RAM on it. It just helps take some of the processing power off of your CPU. Other things are important, like your storage and all that, but the main part of the build for me is just CPU, motherboard, GPU. There you are. So, this is the CPU I got. Bam. And it's the i7-8700K, which is from the Coffee Lake brand. All the K means is it can be overclocked. Now, I don't plan to overclock, so it's not really necessary to have it, but it basically went on sale. It went on sale and was about the price of the version that you didn't overclock. And I decided, down the road when this computer starts getting old, or if I want to upgrade at some point, you can delay upgrading your computer by overclocking a little bit. And now there's so much stuff that lets you overclock. Even the motherboard I have supports just auto overclocking if you want to use it. So you don't have to worry about frying your stuff really. But the main two choices you have are Intel and AMD. AMD basically has a bunch of cores, or not a bunch, has more cores, but individually they're weaker. You can spread tasks out throughout the cores and possibly get stuff done faster. Intel generally has, and this is all for, bang for your buck type stuff. So Intel has, on the same price range as the AMD will have less cores, but the cores will be stronger. So if you're not utilizing every core in your CPU, then Intel you'll get stronger cores for. That's why like if you're building a gaming computer, Intel is usually a stronger option because most games do not use tons of cores, whereas AMD has a lot of cores, which are better for if you're doing a more of a development type of setting. Like if you're doing heavy stuff with rendering or that type of thing, you can set different render tasks. Or if you're doing a lot of like heavy development. And the thing is, I'm going to be doing development, but I'm also going to be doing gaming stuff and trying to make videos and doing that thing. And I don't know how much like texture baking or light compiling or that type of stuff I'm going to do that needs to be run across multiple cores. All I do know is that upgrading into anything else will pretty much make a stronger build and make a big difference in what I'm doing. Graphics card, lots of stuff works well with NVIDIA, and I think NVIDIA works well with Intel. So yeah, just got that Core i7 unlocked, 8700K. So that's going to a motherboard. And that, I've got the Asus, whatever you want to call it. Asus Prime Z370A. The other option that I saw was the Prime Z370P. I got the A because the P was sold out. The P had sold out fast. And it's not because the P is better. The A actually has more features, more functionality from when I did side-by-side comparison and was looking at them on Newegg. The A has more features, it has more stuff. The thing is, I'm not going to use all that stuff. But it supports NVIDIA SLI, AMD Crossfire, which SLI and Crossfire so you can use multiple graphics cards and have them synced up in a way that's optimal. I'm going to use one graphics card right now. So, has HDMI ports, like, everything you'd expect. The main thing that you need for when you're choosing your motherboard is the form factor, which just means what's going to fit inside of the case or the tower that you get. ATX is the most standard form factor, probably followed by micro ATX. This fits ATX, so that's all I need. ATX and also the CPU that it fits. The CPU, I guess, bed you can call it, that fits. And this is a LGA 1151 socket. That's what this fits into. This has LGA 1151 socket for 8th gen Intel CPUs. So basically I chose this because it was the better version of the most popular one that people were buying and that had good reviews and all that type of stuff. And it went on sale, so I didn't wait for the other one to get back in stock. This went on sale. I could get it in a combo pack with the processor, which made both of them slightly cheaper by getting them in a combo. So that's why I ended up getting this. These are pretty much two of, at least for me, the tougher choices to make, because this will dictate the rest of your build very heavily. The motherboard will, at least. This is a CPU cooler, heatsink and fan. I don't need liquid cooling, but this is important because it keeps your CPU cool. One thing you don't want is your CPU getting hot. If your CPU gets really hot, then your system will lag. Everything will run kind of slower. Like, you'll have to shut off so it can cool down eventually. And the thing is, most things, like, if it just comes with a heatsink and fan, that's usually just fine. Cooler Master, I have one right now. It's worked great for the past 8 years. Haven't had to screw with it ever. And again, I don't know if you can see it. Socket support. Intel, LGA, a couple different kinds, AMD, AM4. So 1151 Intel, that's what I'm looking for. That means it'll fit on my processor. It'll keep it cool. It's got 4 heat pipes and a bunch of fans, or a bunch of heat spreaders and a fan. It is probably actually this freaking tall, by the way. It's probably about this tall. Like, this CPU is this big. That big. This thing is going to be massive inside the case. Important graphics card. If you're doing gaming stuff, it's going to be really important. Okay, so I got MSI because I already have an MSI Twin Frozar 3, I think. Yeah, which has worked fine on my other computer, but I would like something stronger. I think what I have has like 2 gigabytes virtual RAM. This has 6 gigabytes of GDDR5 virtual RAM, and has a couple of fans on it. That's important because, like I said, anything with fans is to stop stuff from overheating. And this is an overclockable one. Once again, I don't plan to overclock until way down the line. I might overclock just to get some more time out of my build. But right now, like, I don't think I would need it. Afterburner, it says on, is what you use to overclock this. This particular one, I was looking for a GTX 1060 just for NVIDIA going well with Intel. It's also for Unreal Engine. They also recommend Intel and NVIDIA and that type of stuff, which is one reason why I lean towards getting an Intel. This has 6 gigabytes virtual RAM. Like I said, GTX 1060. It was on sale. That's why I got the overclock edition and everything, just because I was looking for one at a decent price. When I look for CPUs, I look for around $300 for something that's going to be strong for a long time in the future. And I think that may have actually went on sale when it didn't go below 300, but got close. And for graphics cards, if you want to buy like a really good one, I look for between like 200 and 300. I think this was on the lower half of 200s after it was on sale, and you get like rebates and stuff. So it's going to be strong. The virtual RAM is important because that will help with Unreal Engine and also with games. Core part of the build is a power supply. This little thing, this is the thing in the back of the computer that just makes everything run. This is what literally powers the motherboard, powers everything. This just means it's going to be more energy efficient and therefore cost efficient. And 650 watts is more than enough to handle what's going on right here. I'm someone that likes to, if I can pay just a little bit more, not a ton more, but just a little more, especially when something's on sale, and I know it's going to be solid, I would rather do that. Because that means if I go to upgrade this computer in the future with just different parts, like maybe I do want to run a second graphics card in SLI, well, then I won't have to worry about it because I've got more than enough power to do that. One of the last big parts is your RAM. Like the memory, and that's what most applications and programs run off of, is the RAM that you have installed in your computer. It's not all like your GPU RAM, graphics card RAM, anything like that. So you have in your computer. So I got some G-Skill Ripjaws. Apparently they're Series 5. And there's a couple reasons for this. One is that... out of here. One is that this motherboard uses DDR4. That means my current computer with DDR3 RAM, I cannot just switch that RAM over. Each one of these sticks are 16, so I got 32 gigabytes of RAM. This is, once again, G-Skill because I've already used it. It's lasted me for 8 years. Never had a problem with the RAM that I have. And that's G-Skill, so brand loyalty, I guess. If it isn't broke, I don't have to switch to something new. Although there's other stuff like Kingston and Crucial and HyperX, which are all really good brands, really well known. Not going to have any problems with them. And I got 32 gigabytes, mainly because I will never bottleneck with anything I'm doing if I have that much. 16 is fine too. I don't think I'd ever bottleneck, but when I was looking at the Unreal forums, because once again, if I'm building to try to develop and I'm looking at the future, who knows what kind of steps it will take. And they said that you will most likely not bottleneck at 16, but if you have 32, you will, like, there's no way with 32 gigabytes that you're going to bottleneck. I got 2 sticks because in case I do want to, this motherboard in total can handle 64 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. If for some reason in the future I'm doing some kind of crazy space stuff that I have no idea how to do now, and I'm like, oh my god, 32 gigabytes just isn't going to last me, I can double that and not have to buy completely new RAM because I have 4 slots to fit RAM into this. And I believe it's dual channel. Actually, I looked up, it's dual channel. And I have 2 here, so that'll go in 1 channel. Well, 2 slots, 1 channel, you know. That just means it can use 2 of them in an optimal way. That's all the channels are for. Here's something that I've got that actually helped me up a little bit, because it's the only thing that I couldn't get straight from Newegg. I had to get from someone else. Here's CPU. That's tiny. Look how tiny that thing is. Look at that. This is thermal paste. Basically, if your heatsink does not come with compound already on it, it's not pre-applied, you will have to put your own compound on your cooler, on your CPU cooler, so that it can actually go onto your CPU and keep the heat moderated in an optimal way. So it's like $5, something like that, for this amount. You only need to put about, I believe when I looked it up, less than the size of a pea is what you're going to need, because you don't want to put on too little. You especially don't want to put on too much. 1 terabyte in solid state drives, and it's 500 gigabytes each. Basically, these help you with load times. It does make a difference in stuff when you're trying to load and when you're trying to do certain tasks. Doing stuff just on the solid state drive is faster. So 500 gigabytes, a lot of space. I have 1 solid state drive. These are also SATA connected. I guess that's important to mention. There are M2 solid state drives, which M2s look like a stick of RAM. That's what they look like. And there are special M2 slots inside your motherboard which you'd be able to put them in. There are also SATA connectors. I believe this has 6 SATA connectors. But you'll put things like one of these will have my operating system on it. That way when you go to start Windows, it starts up in about 5 seconds flat, something like that. It starts up really quick. Somebody did have a good point when I was looking this stuff up, saying, you don't need to have solid state drives for your operating system, because you can always just turn your computer on, then go get a cup of coffee before you work. I don't drink coffee. What can I say? But it's not that crucial that it starts that quick. But hey, if you have the space, which I do, because this is 500 gigabytes, this is 500 gigabytes, might as well throw the operating system on one. And between these two, I'm going to have essential programs like, obviously not games, because I have too many. And also, it won't affect the in-game performance at all. It'll affect load times with things like where you might be doing a lot of saving, loading, compiling. I imagine it could help with that type of stuff, where you're doing lots of those processes. Like Unreal Engine, where I might be reloading multiple gigabytes at a time, and I don't want that to be really slow. So like Unreal Engine will be on one of these. Microsoft Visual Studio, which is a compiler, will be on this as well, along with the things I use to like record video, edit videos, that type of stuff. Like all the essential stuff that I want to try to work into will be on these. All my compiling and program stuff will be on one. Operating system will be on one. So it'll be divided up, so most of the stuff that I'm going to consider like a core function that I'm trying to do will be on these drives. And between the two of them, I have 1 terabyte. That is a lot of space. It should be plenty enough between these and my external. If it's not, I will get another internal hard drive that's SATA connected. You can plug it in at any time. And like I said, I could get a 2 or 3 terabyte internal for less than $100. And all I'd have to do is put it in, connect it to the SATA port, and voila, I now have more terabytes worth of free space to store stuff on if for some reason I need it. I could also upgrade to more solid state drives if I needed to. Copy of Windows 10. Hey, it's on a disc. Blu-ray, DVD, reader, and writer, because I'm going to need a way to install that on my system. Roswell Neon K51. Friggin' RGB. It's a mechanical gaming keyboard. I like mechanical keyboards. And mechanical ones are basically you have to press down. Like, you will feel the keys pressing down beneath you, and you'll hear, like, the bounce back up. And it might not seem like the best thing to go, why do you want to feel that? Well, it just helps me know, especially when I'm typing, programming, gaming, whatever, like, you've hit that key and you know it. It's more of a, like, textile thing. Like, I just like the feel of it. I couldn't find just straight mechanical keyboards that weren't expensive. This was on sale for less than 20 bucks. Got a couple surprises in here. Neuro Standard 2018. I didn't know I was getting this. Apparently they just, when I bought one of these pieces, they just sent it with. And apparently $50 gift card to HelloFresh. I don't even remember them advertising sending this or anything, so whatever. They want to send me a $50 gift card, I will gladly get some food. Sounds good to me. Also, I don't have a physical copy of it because it's a digital thing, but with the graphics card, which is back here, they also sent me a free copy of Monster Hunter World. So, somewhere on here, I'll put up a picture of it. Now I've got one more thing. All this stuff needs to go inside of something. Whoa, it's huge. It's literally the size of my torso. I wanted that extra space. I basically wanted the extra space for stuff like airflow. It's got a tempered glass side. This is my main vanity thing that I went for with this build. I have the side of my one case taken off so I can see inside of it because I needed to basically make sure the wires weren't pinched because it was turning the fan off. And that doesn't run well with a fan not being on. So I'd take the side off so that I could move the cables around so the fan would, it would connect right. And the fan would work. And I decided I liked seeing inside my case. So this has tempered glass side so I can see inside of it. I also got a special edition case, basically because it comes with like 5 fans. And I thought, hey, extra cooling, neat. I don't have to buy all the fans for it all of a sudden. So extra cooling, extra space to fit all the wires so it's not just one big wired clump jumping out of my tower. So yeah, that's the whole build. Man, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but if you watch through all of it, you're a damn trooper. Like, thank you so much. And as always, till next video, I've been your dad. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Alright, so there we go. There's the overall setup. Everything's turned out. That fancy keyboard, which I do not keep strobing on rainbow the whole time. Usually I have it on like green or something, just a solid color. Something that's not as distracting, but it can stay in strobe right now and look pretty. So 2 monitors, really big monitors, which is nice. Got the adjustable, flexible, clamped down webcam holder, so I can always just unclamp it and move it if I need to. Headphones, need those. Those are years and years and years old. Nintendo Classic, which is a cool thing that a friend got me. And I got an extra controller for it, and there's going to be some stuff on the channel going up that is going to involve that machine and 2 players once I get my capture card in. Got this side, my book external storage, a few terabytes that I've had for a while. And those are the cages for my hard drives. my HDD cages that were in this tower that I don't need because I only have 2 solid state drives in there and the external. And you can see the solid state drives on the bottom, really thin, really cool, just on top of the power supply case or a protector thing, whatever cover. Yeah, that's what it ends up looking like. I have to have it on this edge of the table. Normally I'd have it near the wall. But I have it over here so I can be vain and I can look inside of my computer because I think it looks pretty cool. And it's really nice, really clean, it looks like. Like there's a lot of space in there, it's really clean. Got that massive CPU heatsink and fan. Everything's spinning, got the graphics card. You know, got the RAM. It has, I don't know if you can kind of see it. Yeah. The LED lights strobing in the back. I don't know why it has those, but apparently everything you buy comes with RGB and lights strobing on them. I don't know if you can see, but you can see those the 2 fans in front. That's because those 2 cages are no longer blocking that area. So this whole area is just pretty much air. Like, it's really nice. It's just so clear, has a lot of airflow. I'm going to get a couple more fans for the top, like 2 fans to go up there. And those will help, you know, pull some hot air out or blow more cold air in, whatever. Yeah, setup's been working phenomenally. Computer works amazing. Feel like I'm probably going to have this thing for another 50 billion years. So, or at least I could. So yeah, looks pretty good. And once again, the whole workstation, the whole desk, which is literally like an old dining room table. I don't have an actual desk yet. It's just an old dining room table, but hey, it fits all this massive stuff on it.